Hello, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm facilitating the second of a short series of Grimwild from Oddity Press. Um, and what we're trying to do here is to scratch a nostalgic D&D itch with a more narrative system, which I quite enjoy. Um, we've got a third player coming in. Our fourth player has had some internet connectivity issues and is also conceivably on the other side of the world. So uh, they may or may not be able to join us. But we've got our got three, two in and one on his way. This game was organized as part of the Open Hearth Gaming Community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about Open Hearth, then as I say at the front of all my actual plays, please search Open Hearth Gaming Community and come join us, come play with us, because we'd love to have you. Um, I think I'm going to pretty much pick up where we left off, to be honest, because we got to a place, I think, at the end of last time where uh, where we were ready to move on into the evening. But there is what is called the pre-session arrangement in this game, and in the pre-session recap, um, first of all, each of you starts each session with two stories. So if you want to tick the two story boxes on your character sheet, that would be great. Um, and any spark that you were left with last time carries over, but you also can earn another spark by, as it says, um, recall the previous share your PC's best moment. And if you do that, you get another spark. So let me start. I notice, Robbie, that you are not muted, so you know you're self-selecting here. Would you like to tell us something about what happened last time with Valeria that you'd like in our previously on Grimwild Gaelenvale?
Well, I think in terms of a we should say a consequential moment for Valeria was when she was, somewhat rudely treated by the uh the person running the jewelry stall. And, Valeria kind of realized that there was a special pendant that for whatever reason he seemed to be very protective of. And, then, managing to start the snowball by, knocking some things over by accident, right? As she acted as though she was being, kind of affronted by this fellow, but that kind of got things kind of rolling together, and that kind of became a kind of big story. It started a story point, right? So.
Well, it seems that's the perfect segue into Mark. Give yourself a spark, Robbie, for Valeria. Mark, do you want to pick that up and tell us something about our monk Pherdo's
Yeah,
contribution last time?
yeah. I think my favorite moment was demonstrating that I am in fact a monk by when I was helping Valeria out with the pendant. The merchant grabbed my wrist or hand, and I did the flip over, grab him, fall back, kick the table, flip him over me, land on my feet. So that was a fun moment, and that worked
Perfect.
out great for everybody.
Give yourself a spark for that. And finally, Rod, do you want to highlight something? Oh, here's Zena. Do you want to highlight something from Sir Windemir last time?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a reframing because I think when my paladin was playing with that street minstrel, um you could see that he was having like a good time. Like this was like his, like this was like his purpose almost. And then he sees his compatriots and the trouble, and he hears, the guards being called So I think there's a we see like a change in his expression when this happens, and then he goes over.
So a sense of happy memories, singing with a musician, and then, uh-oh, real world.
Yeah, responsibility. This is
Yeah,
where I'm at. Yeah.
yeah. Give yourself a spark. Hi, Zena. Good to see you. Um, we're just asking. I'm just asking the others to remember something from last time. Now, I appreciate that you had some internet trouble last time, and so you may have had your mind everywhere else but on the plot. But is there anything that you want to remind us of that involves our bard, uh, who I note is still the bard with no name? I mean, and that is a perfectly legitimate character to have. They do need to wear a poncho, though, in order to be the bard with no name.
Oh no, I was just about to put that in. Um, I guess in a German um pronunciation would be Merle, but I was also thinking, yeah, I guess in English it wouldn't sound too bad either, which I guess I don't know what you would even say. Would you say Merle? Would you say
I
Merle?
think I think I default to Merle, but
There we go.
but I'm very happy to be Merle. Uh, so tell me anything you can remember about Merle from. Now I'm going to struggle with that Merle at the end, but I'm going to do my best. Um, uh,
Apologies.
so yeah, tell me something about them from last time if you can.
Well, I guess they came somewhat to the rescue, but may have inadvertently obliged the crew to put up some kind of show tonight.
Yeah, because you discovered a fan, didn't you? Someone who had
hmm
heard you before, who happens to be the captain of the town watch. Um, and I forgot my name, Giffard, Annika Gifford, captain of Galen's town watch, competent ex-mercenary who you once did a gig for her mercenary company, and she has never forgotten it. So you can mark Spark because that's what that in this game, that's what that recollection grants you, an extra spark to start the game with. You all start with two story. Any spark you had last time carries forward, and you can add one for what we've just done.
Where
So
exactly do I do that?
there is, if you go to your character sheet, you'll see there are the four characteristics: brawn, agility, wit, presence.
Mm,
And then to the right of that, there's a little block called
mm,
conditions. And underneath that are story with two ticks and now
cool. Okay.
spark with two ticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And spark, you spend spark to add a dice to your dice pool. You spend story where you have appropriate fictional positioning to, just nudge the story a little bit.
So, and I mark them for having them
And
at my
then delete,
disposal and unmark when
untick
I
them when,
use.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly,
Thank you.
exactly. I think that's probably the logical way to do it. Um, so yeah, um, the Annika Gifford was very keen to hear you perform again, Merle. And so we cut to the blue. What is the name of that pub? The Blue Crane Inn, where Anna Juxon, the owner of the Blue Crane Inn, is more than pleased to have you perform that night. Uh, it'll work really well, he says, because the candidates are going to be having a little kind of town hall. And so we'll do that first, and then you can keep the mood alive because I have a horrible feeling they're going to be really dull.
Hmm.
I do want to ask something of Valeria though, because Valeria, you're a warlock, and that means you have a patron who grants you little gifts. Um, and we now know that the nature of that patron is that they are dreamer and trickster. Quite how that's going to work in practice, we don't know yet. And their desire is knowledge and judgment. And but I do want to ask you some other questions about them, really. So we've got some idea. Um, Assign a distinct color or visual signature to your patron's influence. Something that might kind of, I don't know, appear on the screen or give a signal to our audience that they are at work.
I was thinking that like a kaleidoscopic blur is something that is often associated with this patron. And I did give the patron a name,
Hmm.
which is I wrote it down here. Brexta, which is I think I was looking at like names of gods of dreams and sleep, and this is one from I think Lithuania that I got. But
Fine. So Brexter it is.
yes,
Um, and how does Brexter communicate with you?
I mean I think naturally it would have to be through kind of dream visions. Not that I necessarily need to be in a deep sleep, but I think if I'm not, um, I either seem to be falling asleep or just seem to be in a daze when the dream vision comes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that works for me. Um, how many followers does Brexter have? Many, few, or just you?
Um, I think few. I think one of the problems that the followers have though is that, you know, so much is happening through our individual dream visions that it's hard to imagine that you would have a big congregation because everything is so individualized. But every
Yeah.
once in a while, I run into somebody and we think at least that we're on the same wavelength in terms of our patrons. Maybe
Okay.
not absolute certainty, but yeah.
And we've worked out in some downtime your bond with them. There's a tense affection that you hold for them, um, and their bond with you is complex doubts. There,
Mhm.
I guess that Brexter is not entirely certain that you are a good bet. Not quite certain why, but maybe not. Maybe not. Um, but they are all about uncovering the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's the other thing I would say is just check your character sheet that anything that you start with that you might have burned through last time is reticked. Yeah. So our paladin's smites. Yeah. Um, and our monks interrupts and flow. Uh, we've got our warlock's gift sorted, and our bard songs and melodies are already sorted, so that's all good. I will later in this session want to build Merle into the bond arrangements between you. We know how some of you feel about one another, but we'll build on that at some point. Um, and I just remembered that each of you should have earned 1 XP for last session. So this should be the third of the boxes on the experience track because you are second level, all of you. And after another 2 sessions, you will be third level because come what may, you will get 1 XP per session. Great. Okay. So we cut to that evening, and I think the bar of the Blue Crane is packed. There are tables outside. It's this big market, seasonal market. So lots of people in town, and uh, a huge number of locals are crammed into the Blue Crane for these stump speeches. But I think before the mayoral candidates arrive, um, you are conscious of, I think, particularly Pherdo and Valeria. People kind of say, that's, you know, and there seems to be some gossip about the fuss in the marketplace today. Um, and that fuss is going to allow me to roll 8 dice because I want to see whether the relative chaos that you created has done anything for advancing one of the factions that want control of this town, and in particular, the bandits who operate up in the Vale, and whether your contribution has strengthened the bandits' hand, that there is disorder. So I've rolled 8d6. I'm looking for 1s, 2s, and 3s. So I reckon that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 dice. When you have a dice pool, which in the case of the bandit faction is 8 dice, I roll 8 dice. Any 1, 2s, and 3s take numbers off that. So what was an 8 dice pool for the bandits to take control is now only a 4 dice. And then there are the 2 mayoral candidates. And I think it's fair to say that I've put them in the faces and places. The 2 mayoral candidates are Sir Graxon, who calls himself the Lord of the Manor. Though this is a free town, it doesn't have a nobility. It's run by a mayor. And a Mistress Ira Del Rains, who is a prosperous local farmer. And I won't call it a debate, it's just stump speeches, but it's being moderated by Brother Odell, who is the priest of Corlita, the larger temple in town, priestess of Corlita, the spirit of health and good harvests. And Brother Odell is kind of an honest broker, and he kind of bangs a table to get some attention, and the bar quiets. And he says, fellow citizens, you know that our former mayor, much loved, died last season, and now is the time when we need to find a leader for our community. And you will also know that a number of people have put their names forward, but only 2 of those people have demonstrated that they have anything like the support that would allow them to become our mayor by consent. So we've agreed beforehand that Mistress Del Rains will speak first. And I ask you to listen respectfully and quietly to what they have to say. And Ira Del Rains, what she says is very much about how she understands the problems of the town, because she's just an ordinary person. She knows that livestock have been going missing. She knows that there are bandits in the Vale who are a risk to the town and our prosperity, because my farmland is out there. And I'll suffer like the rest of you if something goes wrong. I don't have any family money to fall back on. I'm one of you. And that's the broad gist of her pitch, that she's one of the people and you can trust her because whatever happens to the town will have a direct effect on her. Yeah. And then Brother Odell calls up the other candidate, Sir Graxon. And his pitch is different. His pitch is that clearly we are in need of strong leadership. We need someone to take this town by the scruff of the neck and ensure that it survives. And let me promise you, citizens of Gaelen, if you choose me as your mayor, then I will commit to my men-at-arms joining the captain of the town watch and the town watch and going into the Vale and dealing with those bandits. Because only by dealing with those bandits can we have long-term peace. And so that is what I say to you, citizens. It's all very well electing a farmer as your mayor. But what history of leadership does she bring? I, on the other hand, was born a leader, brought up a leader, and I will do a great job for you. we can make Gaelen great again. And so those are the two pitches, and both are received well. It's certain the sense you get is maybe the more prosperous members of the community are more in favour of Graxon. The commonality, as we might describe them, are more in favour of Delraines, but that's the broad pitch. And then Brother Odell says, "Thank you. You over the next few weeks, you'll have ask your questions, make a decision, and then we will decide whether we need an election or whether it's obvious who you as a community want." And then Arne Jackson says, "And now we are very blessed to have famous musician able to perform here tonight. I give you Merle the Balladeer." And there's and Annika Gifford is and so Merle, I want to engage with a mechanic here. You have something called Bard Song. You can sing 3 Bard songs per session. You choose a style and tune of impact and roll presence to see whether you can whether people take on the emotion you're trying to communicate. So if you scroll down to the other side of the character sheet, down below where experience is, you'll find Bard Song style: chaotic, dire, fiery, gentle, haunting, playful, nostalgic, rousing, vicious, whimsical. And what kind of tune is it? Anthem, aria, ballad, chant, ditty, serenade, rhapsody, requiem, ode, or hymn? And what are you trying to generate as the emotion in the room? So, what's the style? Oh, you are muted.
Apologies. So I'm gonna assume normally I would want to use this to maybe aid my my party, but in this case, we're just doing it just to try it out, right? So I think just as a narrative backdrop, I guess.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You could influence their view of you as a group right now, right
Oh
here.
yeah, sure. But what I mean is, just as a narrative backdrop, I think Merle will try and like bring out some of the hits first to get everybody in a good mood, things that are well known across the lands, maybe things that people can sing to and have a bit of a dance to, etc., and try and also sort of involve everyone from the party in some way, shape, or form to get people to associate them with the fun they're having. But having just heard these speeches, Merle will then maybe start on a bard song that is less known. And I think it will be. Let me check. I think it is a playful chant of mockery. You know, thinly veiled mockery against what was his name?
Leaf Graxon.
Anyway, the Make Gaelen Great Again guy.
Yeah, fine.
So obviously,
I love that.
that's not really up Merle Street.
So, you will untick one of your Bard Song ticks, and you will roll plus presence, or roll with presence. Sorry. So your presence is 3, so that's 3 dice you're rolling. You could add 1 or 2 extra dice if you want to spend 1 or 2 spark, or you could just stick with your 3. It is possible that the others could support you, given that you tried to build them into the start. Do any of the other characters think that they could contribute to this? Well, no, I should ask Merle first. Do you want the other characters to be involved in this bit of the performance?
Oh, I think Merle's totally fine with others contributing in a little bit of mockery.
So Pherdo, how do you contribute to this playful chant of mockery of Leif Graxon?
I think Pherdo's just really into the call and response bit when Merle like says something and then has us sing back and then back and forth like that.
Well, that will add 1 dice to your 3. What about Sir Windemir? Is this below Windemir's dignity to be part of
No,
this or not? I'm just
not at
curious
all. I don't think so.
because you're the
Um,
entertainer at heart.
so tell me about this song of mockery. Like what is there something specific that it's mocking? Um,
Leif
It's a
Graxon,
good.
I think, is just, or is it some aspect of Graxon, I suppose?
Well, as I said, I think it's very thinly veiled. Probably, starting out with more sort of generalities of, nobility and how removed they are from everyday life and sort of, things where they kind of, how do you say that? Yeah, make a bit of a fool of themselves in regular everyday situations. But then it might, yeah, uh, probably just pick up on some of the language he's used. I'm just imagining that I don't know him specifically, so I can't necessarily. Although, wait, do I not
Yeah, I mean,
also?
you're painting him as a type, aren't you?
Yeah. And like, I'm just trying to, maybe I'll pick up on specific things he does, like certain how do you say that? Gestures that
yeah.
aping and word choice, and then sort of making little puns out of them, etc. Yeah, so I don't think it's a too what's it? I don't know, too vicious, which is why I
Oh,
didn't
it's
choose
playful.
vicious. Also, because I'm like, well, I don't think it would play well to be too direct and yeah, too directly critical of him as newcomers who've already made a bit of a show.
Does
Yeah.
that help, Windermere?
Yeah, I think it does. My character might be stepping on your toes a little bit, and the bard says, because I think Sir Windemir was not literally, but like Sir Windemir used to be an entertainer, have a melodic voice. I'm gonna like take a turn at one of the verses, and I'm gonna be a little more direct than I think Merle is, and I'm gonna say like sing something about, hey, you can make all the promises uh, of leading men at arms against the bandits if you win, but why don't you do that first, and that'll guarantee you win, rather than leading with words, lead with actions, and it's kind of like a challenge to him.
Fine. That raises it to 5 dice.
Fantastic.
What about Valeria? Is there anything Valeria feels that?
Valeria feels strongly because, being of a commoner background myself, there is no doubt that I am in Mistress Delrain's corner. And so something that would take Sir Leaf down a notch, I'm all in favor of. And I think what I will do is, under my pact, I have this part of that is having, kind of minor cantrips at my disposal, attached to my patron.
Hmm?
And I think while Merle is performing, there's some kind of kaleidoscopic lighting effects, somewhat subtle, but like, people that look up at her, there's it's not just, what they're hearing, but there's like something a little bit, magical about this performance. And right, they're kind of like these different kind of shades and nuances of light that are kind of going off as she's performing this number.
Dreamy and yeah, absolutely. Because cantrips cost you nothing. It's one of those things that you can just do. So that
Just
is
throw them out.
6 dice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not spending any more spark on
no,
that.
I thought you might settle with 6. Yeah.
Sure. Wow.
Oh,
Ooh,
gee whizery. Right,
and we
okay.
needed
That's
them.
four ones, a three, and a four. So the best outcome there is a four. Now, if you look, because I can't remember if we used the dice mechanic with you last time, Xena, but if you look at the core tab, you'll see four or five. You do it, but the GM makes an impact move.
Most interesting one result.
Guess what the impact move is? You can see Leif Graxon is getting more and more angry as this goes on. And you see him uh, just looking at a couple of people in the audience. And I'll just reveal them now. Uh, Master Griff and Damon Shearbone, his steward and guard captain. I've revealed them on the Faces and Places tab. Um, and you get the distinct impression that this is a man who does not like to be made fun of, and he has people who deal with people who make fun of. Yeah. So I'm going to just take what in the trade in this game is called um, some suspense. So you know that the shoe is now held. The question is, when will it drop?
Sure.
Yeah. Um, Pherdo, anything else of note happened that night at the Blue Crane?
Um, gosh, I don't know.
I mean, it may not.
I think Frodo's just happy to be inside. Mostly taking advantage of whatever hospitality is being offered.
And of course, that amounts to a couple of drinks and something
Yeah,
to eat as part of the
part of the
Balladeer's
deal.
roadie crew.
Yeah.
Um, what about Valeria? Anything else that Valeria wants to do that evening before you retire?
I think Valeria would try to look for some opportunity to talk to the uh, the better of the two candidates.
Mistress Delraine?
Right. I mean, because I think that there is something strong, right, about this commoner background that Valeria has, right, and at least let say kind words to her, really supportive, and right, saying you know, I am new to this town, but what you said really resonated with me, right?
Well, that's really good to hear. It's a shame that you're not one of the locals because um, the election will be by just people in the market square shouting out my name rather than Sir Leif's. Um, but um, but I mean, if you're interested in helping my campaign, there are things that would be helpful.
Such as.
Well. Someone wrecked the mill last week, and so the mill needs some repairs doing. Um, but almost more important than that is that livestock have been going missing from some of the farms in the vicinity.
Mhm.
And while as I said in my speech, I feel that impact as well. I'd much prefer that we knew what was happening to that livestock. So if you and she's seen you all together now, you and your friends could help with any of that, then I'd be very grateful.
Well, I will certainly talk to them about this. And yeah, I can see that you're sincere and pure in your motives, and anything that I can do to help you, I
Well,
am
that's
certain.
really kind of you to say. That's really kind of you to say, because it's, when a stranger tells you something like that, you think, well, goodness me, that's really nice. Thank you. So Windermere, anything else that evening?
Yeah, I think when I see these goons from Sir Graxon looking at us, I'm gonna take out my sword and my shield, and I think for one of the songs, I'm just gonna use it as like a percussion instrument and like hitting different parts of the shield and using different parts of the sword creates different pitches and kind of like do like a maybe I'll do like a just a common bar song, but make it clear that, this is who we are.
I like that. I like that. Um, Merle, the concert per se is done, but now it's kind of just jamming really, and Windermere is doing, the playing the spoons with his shield and sword, and you're probably kind of joining in, and Gregson has left. Del Rain and her immediate kind of supporters have left. And so things are quietening down towards the end of the night. And then the door bursts open. And a woman comes in looking horrified. She says, My my friend's my friend's dead.
I run
Let's
up.
go to Sir Windemir first. I mean, who doesn't want a paladin to tell you how to respond to things like this? Sir Windemir, what if anything do you do?
Uh, I check if they have any like wounds, first of all, to see if they're injured.
It's not.
Uh,
No, she said it. You go up to her and say, "You all right?" And she says,
yeah.
"No, no, it's not me. It's not me. It's my friend, my partner. Up on the field, on the caravan park."
I look at the others, and I tell the lady, lead, tell us which way.
I,
And
this way, this way, this way. And she heads off out of the town towards where some of the fields in the vicinity, some of the meadowland in the vicinity, have been turned over to merchant caravans to house the traveling merchants who are here for the big market. Um, so Windermere is in motion. Pherdo, what about you? It would involve going back outside.
Yeah, that's great for me. I'm following Sir Windemir.
Um, Valeria,
I'm all cozy again, so I'm raring to go.
Valeria, Merle.
I'm just slightly worried that this is a trap.
So does that mean you don't go or you
Mm,
take some precautions?
I think so. I think, yeah, I think it's not going. I think it might be more of a st either either finding someone else to have our back or to fall back myself. I mean, I'm not the best at any kind of fighting situation, so I feel like I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just, I mean,
I'm
I've noticed you have a background as a charlatan where spotting marks. If you're looking for a sacrificial mark, then you have fictional positioning to do it. Or might be this something a fan could help you with?
Yeah, I was wondering if if I had been asked if there's anything else I want to do, I would have probably addressed the captain of the town watch again to sort of, maybe even dedicate a song to her and all of that because,
Oh,
flattery goes a long way.
it
Um,
does.
and so I might just have, sort of talk to her in advance anyway. It's like, I saw that this guy didn't seem to take too well to, the little jokes we were playing or whatever. And maybe now I'm hoping that she'll maybe keep an eye out for us or something like that.
I,
Yeah.
I, I'll send one of my men after them. Um, does that mean you're not going, Merle, or you're going with the watchman that she's sending?
I think I'll go with them. Yeah. And like just try and be a bit later so that we're not all walking into a trap directly.
Valeria?
Yeah, I mean, Valeria, I mean, she'll respond to somebody in distress. I mean, I don't think it really crosses Valeria's mind initially that this would be a trap. I mean, and that she's like, you know, somebody needs some help. My companions are, she sees Sir Windemir kind of heading out, and Valeria also is not much in the way of fighting, but I'll have Sir Windemir's back.
Fine, fine. So the three of you set off. We see Merle having a conversation with Annika Gifford, and who agrees to send a guard with her, and they follow up some distance behind. Um, I mean, it's only a 15-minute walk to where the caravans are, or some of the caravans are kind of staying at the moment. And the woman that has come to the inn in search of help, Sir Windemir, is somebody called Vera Attaway. And Vera, I'll just put her in the chat. Vera is very concerned because her friend, a partner in business, Ellis, is he's dead. He's dead. And when you arrive at their caravan, you see him slumped around their fire. I'll start with Sir Windemir because you were first off. Do you have any questions that you might have asked Vera on the way, or anything that you want to do when you arrive?
Uh, yeah, I think I will. I think my first concern was like, what killed him? Like, does she know
I don't
what killed
know.
him?
I don't know. We were just sat around the fire. We'd eaten. I went to get some water because the river, there's a stream down there, so I went to get some water. And when I came back, I found him dead. And there are quite a few other merchants, around about who've noticed the fuss of her scream and then running off.
I mean, I'll yell, "Did anyone see anything?" And I'm gonna check the body.
Okay, so are you focused on the crowd or the body? Or crowd, the group?
I'm gonna focus on the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pherdo, what about you when you arrive on the scene just moments later?
So there's other merchants there.
Yes. Yeah,
How are
there are
they?
a dozen caravans, merchant wagons,
Hmm.
all pulled up here.
Uh, are they? Do they have any reaction at all to what's going on?
I think generally there's that kind of it looks like he died of a heart attack, or what, he just slumped. Did you know him? No, not very well. Did you? No, not. It's just small talk is the sense, but clearly, shock that someone's died kind of there and then.
Yeah, I think my first instinct is kind of like mill around, not necessarily discreetly, but just like see if anything in particular sticks out that anyone's saying.
Okay, so is this about the crowd or is this about the locale?
The crowd.
The crowd. Fair enough. So you're looking at the group. Windermere's looking at the body. Valeria, where's your focus of interest, if there is one?
Um, I think Valeria, um, I think Valeria, seeing what Sir Windemir and Pherdo are kind of up to, I think Valeria, I think um, she'll just start to look, um, kind of getting into detective mode, perhaps, but just kind of looking at the area and anything that looks unusual or out of place, or like, I mean, are there signs on the ground of a scuffle, or anything that just seems like it might give some indication of what has happened.
Okay, I've spent one of my suspense to have this event occur, and I think the way I'd like to deal with this is to have someone take the lead on the investigation and the others assist. And then, depending on how those dice fall out, I'll provide you with a varying amount of information, if that seems fair. So, where does wit sit most significantly? Oh, you're all two.
Yep.
Well,
I'm three.
you're three, but you're a bit
I'm
behind.
behind. I know.
Just when you want Sherlock Holmes, you get Dr. Watson.
That's
Um,
okay.
so I think that let's have Windermere, who was first off on this, roll the dice. But I think Pherdo is trying to pick up anything from the crowd,
Mhm.
and Valeria is just looking around for physical evidence while Windermere looks at the body. Yeah? So that will add up to your 2 for wit, Windermere, plus 1 for each of the characters. You're rolling 4 dice. You could spend spark to get another dice.
How does one gain spark during the session?
Okay, so if you check out where is it? There's a tab called Extra. You gain spark at the start of every session. You can introduce a complication into scene that can't be ignored, which would allow me to put a thorn dice, a D8 dice, into the pool. Um, every time that you end up with a disaster on any roll, you get spark. Yeah.
Okay.
Resolve an arc. Bit early days for resolving an arc, I think.
Hmm.
And then there are things I can do in terms of the structure of the game that might, if I thought this was a big climactic thing, I could give you a spark by having you describe how do you prepare for this great confrontation.
Okay. I'm gonna hold off on spark for now.
Okay. Um, the other thing you can do, folks, to improve your pool is you can push yourself. And that involves one of the ticks under the 4 characteristics. So were Sir Windemir to put a tick under wit and push his, incisive intellect as hard as he could, that again would add a dice. And some of the talents offer you extra opportunities to push. Yeah. But right now we're down to our paladin, I think rolling 4 dice.
Okay.
A 6 is the best out of that. So that goes really well. You do it and avoid any trouble. Okay, I think on the basis of that, I can give you 2 or 3 bits of information. Um, Windermere, um, he has not been stabbed or there is no wound. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll start with that. Um, Valeria, they were roasting lamb. The meal they ate was lamb. It's now a bit burned because the sense you get is that the lamb was kind of on a spit being roasted on the fire. Um, Vera Attaway went to get some water from the stream. When she came back, he was dead, and all thought of the lamb was gone. Okay. And in terms of the crowd, Pherdo, I think the sense you get is that um, the people here have been pretty hospitable. Sometimes you go to towns and people are very standoffish, but they've been very happy to sell us provisions and all the rest. So um, I suppose no obvious there was this strange bloke loitering around earlier on. And yeah, I think that's probably what I can tell you for a 6. Yeah. And then Merle arrives with the watchman. And the watchman says, hello, hello, hello. What's going on here then? Um, uh, and um, and if we've seen any Agatha Christie, this is that policeman. Um, oh, this looks very serious. What, well, and he looks at Merle and says, how can I help, ma'am? What do you do,
I
Merle?
noticed it this time. Good question. How, what would I ask of a watchman?
I tell you what, ma'am, I'll just keep the crowd back.
Actually,
Stay
that is
away,
not
you lot.
actually
Stay away.
not the worst thing to get to do, rather than, interfere with anything at the scene. Probably not the worst, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm wondering.
Oh, let
So,
me remind you, Zena. Remember, you have a second talent to choose,
yes.
if that's relevant. I just don't want to forget that because
Yeah, no.
you've all started at second level.
I was looking at them and then thought, no, still haven't really found one that would
Okay.
now be relevant. But I was wondering about the backgrounds, given that I also have the healer background, and I'm wondering if
Ooh,
that might give me some kind
yes.
of insight given that we haven't seen, any stab
Wounds.
wounds,
Oh,
any obvious
yes. I'd
stuff.
forgotten about that. You have fictional positioning to roll with wit to come up with perhaps a cause of death.
Why
Three
not?
dice. Your wit is 3. You have 3 dice. You could increase that by 1 or 2 by spending 1 or 2 spark.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you 1 extra dice anyway for the
Ooh,
fact that Sir Windemir is certain there is no wound. So
right.
that pushes some things off the table.
I think I'm just gonna go with the 4 for now,
Okay.
even though I've been rolling horribly. You know. Ah.
6. There you go. How dramatic is your declaration that the man has been poisoned?
How dramatic. Oh, yeah, I think it does come off with a bit of a flourish. I don't think subtle is in their repertoire
Yeah.
necessarily.
You
Just like
you can take the cause
poison.
of death out of the entertainer, but you can't take the entertainer out of the cause of death.
Yeah.
This man has been poisoned. There is some frothing around the mouth in his beard that is distinctive of a particular poison. And given that we are 3 minutes to the hour, that is our cliffhanger. Okay, back in our seats at 5 past. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Fine. See you then.
Sure.
So we come back to our investigation. Um, Merle, you brought some expertise to the table. So in terms of poor Ellis being poisoned, there is an 8 dice clock on this investigation. When it gets to 0, then no more clues will appear. You will either have to abandon the investigation or accuse someone. So roll 8 dice right now. Each
Mhm.
1, 2, or 3 will reduce that 8 dice pool by 1.
All right.
1. Oh, 2. 2. So that's a fair enough. So we've got 6 dice before that goes cold. So he was poisoned. And I think I'd go further, Merle, and tell you that it was the lamb that they were going to eat that was the source of the poison. I think we see
Okay.
you smell because while the bottom of the leg of lamb is burned black, the top, because nobody's been turning it, is still quite raw, and that's where the poison came from. And it looks like poor Ellis had just sneaked a little bit of the lamb while Vera was away, because you can see there's some being sliced off the bottom. So
Hmm.
so that is our clue. Um, but yes, I would like to give the 4 of you a chance to do a bit of interaction and perhaps use that uh, as part of the. I've just realized I've moved start here somewhere. Oh, there it is. To have a look at some of these relationship questions. Um, Zena, you reminded me of this. Do you have a particular question in mind and someone that you want to interact with around this?
Oh goodness. I'm not sure I do, to
Oh
be
no, that's
honest.
fine. No, I just wondered if you were ahead of the game.
No, I was just wondering about the homework that I was like, oh no, you were supposed to think about this. And then anyway, yeah, so called
No,
myself
well,
out there.
let me come back to you then. I don't want to put you
Yeah.
under undue pressure. Mark, I'll put you under pressure instead. Is on the way back to the town. Um, uh, the watchman will stay and keep an eye on the crime scene.
Hmm.
Um, the merchants will carry the body into town, so it can go to the temple of Corlita uh, for presumably some kind of funeral rites tomorrow. But is there anyone you want to interact with on the way back? And do you want to hang that on one of these group building questions?
Is there a specific list of questions we're looking at,
Yeah,
or?
sorry, it's on the start here, which is the furthest left tab,
Aha, there we
and
go.
it scroll all the way over to the right. It's step 7.5 in character
Ah,
creation.
got it. Yes. Let's do um
And again,
Yeah.
you may want to relate this to the way that you are currently seeing your bonds. I don't know.
Yes. Uh, I think this is for Windemir. Um, when have I let you down, and how did you learn to work around me?
Uh, when did you let me down? Um, let's see. You have strange snacks. I didn't like your snacks. No. Let's see. Faraway tales. You're honest, persistent, but not protective. I think that would disappoint me that you maybe you don't think of yourself as a protector, um, and yeah, that's maybe not your first instinct, and I think my way around that is to let that spur me to try to be a model for you.
Mm,
Yeah, just like lead by example kind of thing.
nice.
Well, then just give me a little snippet of conversation that might illustrate that on the way back to the Blue Crane, Windermere.
Oh, we have to help these people.
Why?
If if they were targeted, I mean, who knows if someone's been poisoning the sheep? Um, this could spread and hurt more people.
Oh, poison's not a disease. It's very targeted. This shouldn't spread.
But what if they've been poisoning several sheep and just trying to cause chaos? Chaos.
Who?
We That's a good question. If we can find out, I mean, of course, this is just
Do you really
imagining the
think it's
worst.
our business to be butting our noses into the town? I mean, I'm sure there are more people who'd be more invested in this. I mean, we could help them, but why is it our responsibility?
Well, no, I agree. We can help them, and we should.
Does anyone ask for
We're,
help?
we're here.
Everyone's here.
Yes, but they aren't us.
No, no, they're them. If we were being poisoned, if you were poisoned, I would be very upset, and I would definitely try to find out who it is. But people get poisoned every day. We can't be everywhere.
Yes, we can't be everywhere, but we're here. And when
Yes.
we're we're given an opportunity to help, we should take it. I mean, wouldn't you want to be helped if you needed help?
Yeah, that's what you're for.
I think that's a great cut. I have to tell you, that's a great cut. Um, what about Valeria? Is there a question that you're interested in putting to someone and hanging a bit of conversation on?
Unmute myself first, and let's go with um um let's go with um I'll ask this to Merle. Um and I'll ask the question, what is something dangerous you think I'm hiding from the group?
Fantastic, because I had the idea of of asking you, what do you hope I'll never find out about your plans, which I guess fits very well. Oh, okay. What is something dangerous? Ah, okay. Let me see. So, because we haven't figured out our relationship yet, I'm just having a look at your thing. So you're confident and curious, but not honest, which, you know. Um,
I could add a detail that might spark something if you
I mean, I'm wondering if it's about your quest for knowledge, which I mean, maybe is also very cliched, but you know,
yeah.
um, but I'm not sure. Yeah, if you want to add a detail, sure,
Well, this
go ahead.
might be. I mean, I think because Valeria was the one that first kind of noticed the lamb that had been burning. And I think Valeria had actually also kind of taken a little bit of the lamb and had thought about tasting it, but before doing that, found out, oh, there's a poison. But I think Valeria is still carrying this
Piece of
piece
lamb.
of lamb, right? And kind of shows it to Merle and kind of lets you know, oh, I'm so glad we found out what that this lamb was the cause. I was about to take some of it, but I still have it with me. Not planning on eating it, but it might be useful to our um, attempt to find out who did this horrible deed.
This is as I am carrying the whole leg of lamb, so to make sure that nobody else eats it, and also to try and like investigate the whole thing. So I'm thinking, why would we need this small piece, and why do you feel the need to, you know, keep it on hand? So I just sort of like eye you up in this of like, yeah, but we have this. Um, is there anything else you're interested in here, or
Well, I'm lots of things. I'm interested in countless things, but I guess the thing I'm most interested in is why would anybody want that poor fellow to be dead? And you know, well, I guess maybe we should also. I mean, I have countless questions. Like, what was the lamb just for him, or was it intended for lots of other people? Poison is somewhat indiscriminate.
yeah, I mean, that is one of the questions that will probably help us find out who did this. Yeah, but why don't you just get rid of this piece, or maybe just put it into this little bag with the rest of the lamb?
I just feel like the piece was, in a way, it's kind of meant for me. I mean, I was about to eat it myself. So I've just kind of learned, you may think it a little odd, but things that are meant for it's I have a hard time just kind of putting them by the side. I'm not going to eat it though. I promise you that. I will
Well,
just
well, that's a relief. So you're keeping it as, I don't know, some kind of very odd talisman?
who knows. You know the world works like a dream and it's often mysterious. But sometimes useful meanings can kind of come out of things that we don't initially understand.
Hmm. And maybe I'll write a song about it later.
And cut. Um, what about Sir Windemir? Is there somebody other than Pherdo that you want to have a conversation with, and do you want to hang that on one of those questions?
Uh, yeah, I'll ask the bard. Uh, what's something about me that annoys you, but you'd miss if I were gone?
I was gonna ask you that.
Oh, really?
Yes. No, it's great. It's fantastic. Ooh, what annoys me? I think I can think of a few. Wait, let me check again. Mm, I think it's your idealism. It's somewhat charming, but it can also be grating to someone like me. And also because I think sometimes your idealism may come across as uh, a certain kind of aloofness, compared to others who are not beholden to such a um, to this, how do you say that, to an honor bound oath,
Yeah.
etc. And I think that kind of, yeah, that grinds my gears, but at the same time I'm like, such a goody two shoes. It's kind of nice to have that sort of energy around sometimes.
I love the idea of this grating but charming. So do you want to toss that back the other way then?
I mean, sure, why not? Because I feel like we have this shared history, well, shared background, but then we're probably also very different people. So that's why I thought it was a good question.
So what is it about Merle that annoys Windermere, but he'd miss if she wasn't there?
Oh man. What would yeah, I should look at your character. Let's see. Huh. Oh, that's interesting that we both want belonging and renown, I noticed. And neither of us want power.
Oh goodness, did we actually
That's
double up on
interesting.
all of
Yeah,
those?
yeah,
I didn't
we're
Yeah,
even
all
that's
there.
cool
notice
though.
that.
So I think what annoys me is how you planning to get renown, which is just by your talent, which is very, which is very you're very talented, of course, but I feel you're missing your true potential. Um, and that that doesn't bother you. So I'm annoyed that you're kind of not living up to your to what you can do. And I think how I meant that manifests is I compliment you on figuring out that this was poisoned. And like you're so much, I mean, you're such a great bard, but you know you could be helpful in so many other ways as well.
I like that. Um, does this allow everyone now to select an intensity and nature of the bond with Merle, now that we know a bit more about them? And likewise, does this help our bard firm up uh, how they feel about Pherdo Windemir? I've just realized I've spent Wildemir wrong.
I'm not sure about Pherdo because we haven't had a scene
No,
together,
no,
and I
well,
just feel like
leave that one on a shelf if you want to.
I just feel like everything else, everything that has been somewhat established was just sort of secondhand, right? The whole like, I don't know, oh, he's being too honest for his own good once again, but it's not really, yeah, we haven't really had an interaction. So yeah, but about the other two, I think I could figure something out. I'll have to look at these drop-down menus again. Give me a sec. Ooh, 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 here.
What about Pherdo? Do you feel you've come to some judgment around Merle?
I chose playful camaraderie with Merlin, and I think it's because yeah, they just seem very like open to the world, I guess. Which is like it is. I feel like we are the same in a certain way, but like from different angles, if that makes sense.
I like that. What about our warlock, Valeria? Have you come to any conclusions about our bard?
Well, I'm definitely thinking a curiosity in terms of the bond and the intensity of it. Maybe say a growing curiosity.
About what makes them tick, about
Yeah, I think I mean I think yeah, I guess I'm interested in like what their ultimate, goal is, like what exactly is pushing them. And I recognize that we're both kind of curious about, the world. Um and kind of wanting to kind of understand things, but it's also very clear, like just in terms of right the last scene where Merle was initially kind of hanging back a little bit more, it seemed to me, but then kind of came through with a lot of answers, right, about right what was going on. So right, seemed to kind of be putting us on the right path to finding out what was going on, despite the fact that she initially kind of lingered behind. Um,
no, that works for me. That works for me. And Sir Windemir, what about have you settled on what those conversations are illustrating in terms of your relationship with Merle?
Yeah, definitely complex. And I chose camaraderie. I think Merle is like a very weird mirror to myself, what I could have been, or maybe I'm what they can be. Should I push them into doing more, or am I just regretting my choices? Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very complex. That's great. And I will remind you that if you can behave in a way that would make the other character change the way they feel about you, then that will earn them spark. So your behavior can influence the way that they feel about you. And if that changes the way they feel about you, they get spark.
Cool.
Just by the by. And in theory, that can happen anytime. There's no kind of um yes. So let's I think I'm going to cut to the following morning. When you can hear some disturbance. The market is just getting going, but you can hear people agitated, I think is fair to say, outside the inn. Um, Valeria, let's begin with you this time, I think. Um, when you look out the window of your room, you can see Leif Gregson is standing on the steps of the temple. And I think I would describe him as rabble rousing. So when the four of you kind of go down, grab some bread and cheese, and go out into the marketplace where people are just setting up stalls. Um, what's what have you got to say or do about that, Valeria?
um, I think Valeria would make her way over to the the temple, um, and kind of position herself kind of close by, not directly in front of Sir Leaf, but off to one side, but really is trying to then get really a kind of close look and be in really close hearing, both of him and also seeing what this reaction is that he's getting out of the crowd. I guess
Um,
Larry is initially assuming, oh, this must have something to do with what happened last night.
it does. He is clearly haranguing, well, haranguing, he's clearly addressing the crowd on the subject of, I told you so. Last night I made it clear that without strong leadership, this town is at real risk. And now a man has been killed. And there's certainly, the crowd is responding to that.
Has
Um,
the cause of death been made public?
not by you yet.
Right. So someone who is less honest than me might be able to use that to our advantage. But
Um,
not me.
well, I was going to ask you, Frodo, whether, Valeria's gone over to listen to this. You get a flavor of the tone of the harangue from across the market square. But do you do anything?
Hmm. Have we been let's see. The medallion that we left in the left with someone else. Have we been contacted about that at all, or is that
No, you
anything
haven't. You
come with
haven't.
that?
Nobody raised it with Annika last night. You could go over to the watch house now.
I think I might go over to the watch house. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, uh, Merle, what about you?
I am torn. Mel is torn between, I guess, well, being quite a loudmouth, sort of,
I don't know.
making a bigger
Hang on.
bit of a
You've got a. I've just noticed. Oh no, you're not quiet.
not
Sorry, no,
quiet
you're
is
not
the
quiet.
one
I beg
thing
your pardon. Yes,
I chose.
you are definitely not quiet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
Yeah.
they're wondering if, I mean, I'm wondering anyway. So there's two things. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, I should look more into this leg of lamb and all of that. And sh surely somebody has been questioning people and maybe asking this companion about, you know, who where did you get the lamb, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also hearing, I mean, maybe that's where they're on their way, maybe to try and gather what information has been gathered since last night. But maybe they're just like distracted by hearing this obnoxious guy fear mongering and trying to use that as his to his advantage. And I feel like, yeah, given that they're a bard, maybe they will make a bit of a loud entrance and sort of um, fly up the steps to stand next to him and just sort of how do you say that? In his in a in a contrast to his voice, in this very booming sort of deep voice, go like, um, what does Merle say? Does well
Well, look, I tell you
does
what.
he
While
even
while
know
you're thinking about that,
the
because
cause of the death?
I'm curious whether you're going to unleash a bard song. You see. Um,
Maybe.
So Windemir, what about you? We know Merle has gone. Valeria is in the crowd. Merle is heading in that direction. Pherdo is heading for the watch house. What about you?
Yeah, oddly enough, I was thinking a lot along the same lines as Merle. My first intention was to talk to Vera Attaway, but when I see Sir Graxon, and especially when I see Merle run up, I need to just make sure nothing horrible happens.
Right. I think let's resolve what's going on around Gregson. Then we'll come back to Furdo and the medallion in a moment. So Valeria, you've got a sense of what the pitch is, um, and then because you're kind of discreet, you're not making yourself particularly noticeable, but you notice that Merle is. Merle kind of elbows through to the front of the crowd, and then kind of gets up on one of the steps going up to the temple. Is that right, Merle? Have I got that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And what is Merle doing or saying?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it's the Bard song situation, but certainly they are, yeah, they're basically questioning why he would, how do you say that? They're questioning his claim to, his approach being the right one here. He doesn't even know what's killed this man. He doesn't know anything about whether this man was targeted or not, or whether it's maybe some kind of illness that took him. And
So are you
just
debating him
banging.
here?
Yeah, or maybe it's more of a it's more of a shouting match in the sense of, just asking these loud questions, like how do what's he called? What are his men called?
His men at arms.
Oh yeah, how do men at arms help with this kind of situation? Does he have any enemy to point toward? No. None of this, helps. What we need is this, um, and that sort of thing. And maybe,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
maybe
Sir
there is a song.
Windemir,
I don't know.
you're near the front of the crowd, just checking that this doesn't turn nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
in case. Yeah. Mhm.
so Merle, I think this is roll with wit to determine whether what the reaction of the crowd is to your challenge to Grexon's uh, rhetoric. Wit is 3 dice.
Hmm. Now I'm wondering if I should. Yeah, let's spend some spark. Why not? Already halfway through the session. So we got to do 4, I guess.
4 dice. A 5. So on a 5, I think it's fair to say that you are making a difference here. You are, some of the crowd, you can see and Windermere will see this as well, so will Valeria. Yeah, no, that's making some sense. That's the bard, the one that was, yeah. Um, but others are saying things, the mixed success here is that others are saying, oh yeah, well, what do you expect? Because she's obviously on the other, she's with the Del Rain camp. Did you hear what she said last night in her songs about Sir Leaf? That was just not fair, just not fair. And so what I think you managed to do is to divide the crowd. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't think you've managed to kind of out debate him but I think that the crowd is distinctly becoming factional. Yeah. Um, Valeria, anything on this?
Yeah, I think Valeria, first of all, she recognizes that Sir Graxon doesn't strike Valeria as particularly as completely honest in terms of like what he's doing. I mean, he's clearly kind of self-serving. But Valeria feels like, okay, it would help to have some clarity about what's going on. And, since she had been off to the side, I think she's gonna, she's been holding that little piece of lamb, and I think she's gonna try a vision to see if her patron might be
Okay.
able to give Valeria some added insight into
Okay.
what exactly is behind this
So
poison.
visions, you can roll presence to ask your patron for forbidden knowledge like tightly held secrets or that which should not be known. Ask the GM a specific question. The answer may be cryptic or twisted to suit your patron's desires, but it will never be an outright lie. On a messy or grim roll, the patience of your patron may be tested. So, yeah, ask me a question and roll plus presence. Roll
So
with presence.
I think the question is, who is behind this poisoning of the lamb? Okay, I want to find
Okay.
out. Yeah, and she'll since the focus is not on her, she probably finds a spot because she knows that she kind of goes into this kind of uh, dream state,
Hmm.
right, when this happens. And I think I will spend a spark on this roll, so
Okay.
that'll give me 4.
4 dice.
So
Push your presence, you get 5.
presence is 3,
But if you
right?
put a tick underneath it, that would add another dice. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I think well, that's tempting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with 5 and I'll put the
Okay.
2. Okay. And let's see what I get.
A 4, so a mixed success. Well, I'm going to roll patience in a moment, see whether that begins to erode. But who is behind this poisoning? And I think what we see is as you just go to one side and you're looking at this bit of lamb. and we get that kaleidoscopic look that and in the kaleidoscope we can see some of last night's events. We see Vera getting up with a bucket to go to the stream. We see that the nice bit of charred meat on the edge, the first bit of lamb that is cooked. We see Ellis just shaving that off and eating it. And then we see that staring look on his face as he begins to froth at the mouth and die. But then we see someone delivering a leg of lamb to Ellis and Vera. It looks like a woman. So I think that the answer may be cryptic or twisted to suit your patron's desires, and his desire is for more knowledge and judgment. So I think he's offering a clue here that the lamb was delivered by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have
but then I'd like Valeria, would you roll 8 dice to see whether this has strained Brexter's patience?
So 8 6-sided die.
8 6-sided dice, 1, 2s, and 3s will reduce their patience.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. So that 8 dice patience is now a 4 dice patience. Yeah. And at 0, they may come a calling. You know, you get nothing for nothing. But yes, a leg of lamb delivered by a woman, I think is what we're hearing here. So Windemir, you see the crowd dividing, you know, almost physically. People who tend to think, oh yeah, you know, Merle's got a point, are kind of talking together, and the other ones are getting slightly more, yeah, well, what do you expect her to say? Any intervention here, Windemir, or are you just gonna wait for something, the spark?
No, I better step in. Uh, uh, Gosh, yeah, I will. I will stand in between Merle and Sir Gregson
Obviously
so that we kind
presenting
of,
a protective kind of presence.
yes, and also maybe like showing that yeah, there's the line of us, and now we're just talking.
I mean,
I
are you displaying any authority here? I'm
I
just,
think so. Yeah, let's do that. Um, you can push yourself to pull off a potent feat of righteous command.
I don't think you need that. Or maybe silent.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, silence a riot with a word. Yes,
Uh,
that might
let's
be
see
where we're
here.
looking at here.
Uh, PC's response. You can spend. Yeah, we haven't done it, so let's try it.
So
And that
what?
comes back every session, or
Yes, it does.
okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And so I think so I mean, your very presence. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And what are you trying to make these? Is it one portion of the crowd, the other portion of the crowd, or all of the crowd? And what are
Yeah,
you
all of the
trying to
crowd.
get from them?
Yeah, I say uh Sir Gregson um is right, but so is the bard. We need to use both our minds, but be ready to protect each other and be vigilant. And I'm trying to unite them, just saying, like, yeah, they both have good points. Uh, don't don't choose just one or the other at the expense of the other, like not being ready to fight or not
And
being ready to think about it.
in terms of the way that you want this to go, this is that they respect or they obey your injunction, not that they have more in common than they have to keep them apart. Is that
Right. Yeah, we have to look after each other.
yeah,
Exactly.
nothing to see here, go back, don't get excited about this, that kind of yeah.
Well, I don't want them to ignore it. I want them to be aware that there is danger and you have to after each other, rather than pick sides. Yeah.
Fine, fine. And I think probably Leaf realizes he's lost half the crowd, and he and his little coterie of um, steward, captain of the guard, men at arms, kind of they see him back to his manor, or the manor house, the townhouse. Um, let's cut to Pherdo at the watch house.
Yes.
So Pherdo, what Annika said was that tomorrow, I think what she said was that tomorrow she'd make a decision about the provenance of this medallion that you found. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's fair to say that probably that merchant is there waiting for the watch house to open as well.
Mm.
And there's a slightly uncomfortable kind of silence outside the door till the door opens and a watchman invites you in. Um, and he's very quick to say to Annika, so can I have my medallion back? And she says, well, I have to say, I'm not sure that I'm prepared to let it go yet. You know, what Pherdo here says, and it's significant that she now knows who you are
Mm-hmm.
because you're part of Merle's group. Um, uh, Pherdo here seems very convinced that this is something of significance. Um, Pherdo, how do you want to take that conversation? Or are you content with that as a judgment? Yes,
Um,
round two, merchant versus monk.
yeah. So Annika has not made a determination yet.
I think she's not prepared to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly she's not prepared to come down necessarily on your side in front
Mm-hmm.
of him. Um, but when he storms out saying, well, there's another 3 days of the great market. Uh, uh, I've only got 3 days to sell it. Or are you telling me I won't even get it after that? And she says, really, just calm down, come back tomorrow.
Where did
And
you get it from?
oh, right. So you want to try and I think that's probably presence,
That's gonna go
Frodo,
great.
to get anything out of him. And I am going to put a thorn in because the last interaction you had ended up with you throwing him over your shoulder onto the ground.
That's right.
So your presence is one. You're putting a red thorn dice in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, go ahead. You can
I think
spend
I'm
spark.
just gonna. Oh, should I spend a spark? I'll spend a spark. Yeah, let's do that.
2 dice and a thorn dice, a red
It's gonna
dice.
go great. There's a 6 and an 8.
Okay, so 6 would be good, but a 7 or 8 on the thorn cuts that back. So the response from him is you do it, but the GM makes an impact move. And he says, where I got it is very little your business. But, and he aims this at Annika, but I bought that a season ago from a reputable trader in the city. And this man is just a troublemaker, and I do not expect this sort of thing to be. If you say you run a decent town, I'm beginning to wonder whether that Sir Graxon, whatever his name is, might have a point. That this place is allowing people like him to have some authority over people like me. I'm a respectable trader.
Oh, well, maybe we should buy it from you, and you can tell us where you got it, and we'll take it up with them.
Do you want to buy it?
You're selling it.
Well,
You're reputable, right?
absolutely.
Annika
And he looks at
are
Annika
they
and says,
reputable? That's true.
he wants to buy it from me. I'm very happy to sell it to him or leave it with you for a decent consideration. Now, the rules don't have any rules for money,
Yeah.
but I did find when I was running this with my home group that some sense of how much you can buy or what you have at your disposal. Now, you are an eccentric drifter.
Yeah, I
Um,
probably don't have a lot of money.
you don't. You don't. I think you probably have D3 money rather than the
Mhm.
D6 minus one, which is the default. So roll a D3
All right.
or a D6 halved, you know.
Yeah, well, D6.5.
That's not a lot of money, is it?
That
That's
is not money at all.
okay. So I've added one to your purse. Now you can roll that one. If it's one, two, or three, it's all gone.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you're I'm very happy for you to see if that's enough.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so you roll 1d6. On a 6 it is. On a 4, you will need more than that. He wants something else. He needs more than one.
Great. I'll
But
talk
he
to the
is
rest
willing
of
to sell it to
my.
you.
I'll talk to my companions, and we'll get this taken care of.
Great. And he says to Annie, if they can get the money that that's fine by me. The matter's then closed.
As long as you tell us where you got it from.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, time for a whip round, yes. So why don't we then, because the crowd will have dispersed after Windemir's intervention to tell people to calm down, don't take sides, just listen to the evidence and watch one another's backs. The crowd is dispersed, and so I think I'm very happy for the other three of you to turn up at the watch house. Um, and the question then becomes, how much are you prepared to put in the pot here? Because the one that Pherdo offered was not enough. Simple as that. So
Whatever we spend, we can make back from the person who stole it. So
well, exactly. Now our
very
bard, I
plainly
think
putting it out.
the sense I get of our bard is that our bard is quite a successful operator. So I'm going to give you D6 minus one as
Hmm.
your available funds or
So
a
just
measure
roll
of your wealth.
d6
A
and
single
see what
D6.
happens.
Yep. 3. Oh, so you've got a total wealth of 2. That's really not very good.
I've been
Maybe
lavishly spending, probably.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Maybe you put on a better show than you actually have. Valeria, my sense of Valeria is that I don't think that um, material possessions are high on your list because wealth is something you actively don't want. So you too can roll a d3, but minus one.
All right. Uh,
Will you look at that? D3 minus one is 2.
mhm.
So, a purse that weighs the same as our bard. Bit of a surprise. And finally, Sir Windemir. Now, Sir Windemir, um, you're not interested in power. You want renown. And your tenets, faith to the people because of caring, wisdom to the leaders to be so that they're honorable, inspiration to the powerless, as you two are inspired to be more than I was. Yes. I think I'll give you the straightforward D6 minus one. Because if nothing else, you have quite a lot of possessions, because I've seen the picture. Wow. So that is a very light purse. So you are going to have to, all of you, throw something into the pot here. Um, this is going to take at least 3, if not 4, which is going to wipe some of you out. But he is willing to sell it.
I'm happy to put all of mine in.
Okay, there's one.
Well, I mean, Valeria. So Valeria has 3. She'd be willing to put 2 of those in and just keep like the final one.
So that's 3 dice. Now, if this were to go well, that 3 dice you might not end up using it all. We know that Pherdo is going to lose everything. But let's have Valeria and well, Merle. Do you want to put anything in the pot? Because this is the number of d6 in the hand, so to speak.
I'm all right putting in one.
Okay. So Windermere.
Well,
The widow's mite?
I'm gonna ask Pherdo, what is your purpose for buying the medallion?
But you said we needed to help people, right?
Yes, but I mean, what are your plans? Like how does
He's
this
going
help
to tell
anyone?
us where he got it from, and I assume that's the one who stole it. So we'll get all our money back one way or the other.
All right, I'll put my one.
Okay, so there are 5 dice on the table here. Valeria is putting most into the pot. So I'm going to make Valeria can roll the dice, and
Yeah.
let's see what this is going to cost you. Okay, well, this is a critical success, 2 6s, but it's going to reduce that by 3. So we know Pherdo's is going to go to 0. We know Valeria is going to go down by 1, and we know that Merle's going to go down by 1, right? So Windemir wasn't necessary to throw it into the pot. And I think I see you now in the Blue Crane Inn uh, with the merchant handing the money over, and Annika is there to say, "Okay, that's yours now. Job done." And she leaves, leaving the 4 of you with Pherdo in the lead to talk to the merchant. So how can I help you then, now that we've arranged this on decent terms?
Well, you said you were going to tell us who you bought that from.
Yes, I was. And it must be said, um, I was a little, how can I put this? I was a little bit vague. When I said I bought it in the city, that's not entirely true. Um, I was approached by someone when I arrived here. Um, a man called Maglos just came up to me in the market square and said, "This is for sale. What will you give me for it?" And I gave him a little less than you've now paid me, if I'm entirely honest, and I want to be entirely honest with you. But yes, a man called Maglos, I think his second name was Kilgore, Maglos Kilgore. Um, and So that's who I bought it from.
And is he still here?
I have not seen him since.
Well, I'm sure we'll find him. Thank you.
And that is God's honest truth.
And you didn't know it was stolen when you bought it.
Uh, Perhaps I could have asked some questions about it, but it's a nice piece. It meant nothing to me. Um, I trusted the seller.
Mm.
But
And,
a reputable seller it was not.
and these symbols on these weird symbols on the medallion. What do those, what is all that about?
You're asking him.
Yes. I
He
mean, we
has
kind
no
of
idea.
know a little bit, but does he
He
have
has
any sense?
no idea, no idea at all. Um, it just was a nice piece, and I thought I'd get a good price in the market, and I have. So if our business is done, I'll be on my way.
Can you describe this man for us?
Yes, big bloke, some tattoos, and a scar on his cheek.
Thank you.
Enough so that you would recognize him if you saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and enough that if you wanted to pursue the matter, you could perhaps uh, describe him to people and say, "Do you know this man?" Yeah. Um,
I think Valeria, when he left, I think Valeria would let the others know the added information I may have about the poisoning, right? We'll say
Mm.
we'll turn first to Merle and say, that little piece of lamb that I kept, I think it may have turned useful because I well, I'm something of a dreamer, but my dreams sometimes are true. And I think a key to finding out um, who poisoned poor Ellis you know, part of the key is who brought the lamb to be cooked in the first place. It was a woman um, who
A
brought the
woman?
lamb and brought it to what was her name? Her name is
Vera.
Vera.
to
Vera.
Vera, yeah. And I have a sense that maybe that lamb was already poisoned, possibly when it was given to her. And
I think that's deserving of a roll of 6 dice on "There's been a murder" clock
I think it's just yeah, Merle will just be like a woman. That reduces the
by 50%,
count
broadly.
by 50%. Not great. Any other
Well,
distinguishing marks?
let's see
But yes.
how whether this looks like a dead end or not.
okay, you want me to roll this?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 6 dice.
6 dice. 1s, 2s, and 3s will reduce it towards no more clues.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. So that's only reduces it to 5. So there is still more to be discovered.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I feel like I heard part of I did listen to the previous session for what I missed, but I guess I still didn't catch the details on what story, what it means to spend story points.
Story, you can spend story to, as long as you have fictional positioning, to do things like I met that guard and we shared a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore he's going to be better disposed to me. Um,
Right.
I I mean, I'm just thinking of one of us has some understanding of ancient histories. So Sir Windemir might be able to spend a story point to say, actually, let me look at that medallion again.
Yeah. Because then I have an idea of spending story now when
Oh,
we are
go on.
talking about this lamb.
Oh, go on. Go on, go on, go on.
So given that I'm a healer and I have knowledge of, herbal properties, etc., and probably, some poisons,
Ooh.
I think Merle would remark, well, if your vision is indeed to be believed, then that narrows down the amounts of poisons. It could be considerably because most poisons you can find out and about wouldn't withstand being cooked in this way. Um, and maybe it's something about, anybody who with access to that. It's only a small amount of people who would have access or the knowledge. I don't know if that's good
I
enough
think
or too much.
I think that gives you spend your story point, and that becomes a truth in the fiction. Um, this this is a There are very few poisons to survive cooking.
I don't know if that's
And
actually true.
but there is one that does. So if you could find a source of that poison, that would be a distinct lead. Uh, is that good enough?
Mhm.
Okay. So you have another lead to pursue on that. Um, I mean, I threw that illustration to Sir Windemir in terms of if there is something that you wanted to declare about this medallion using your. I don't think any of the others have. Oh, mystic, ancient prophecies, ley lines, and symbology. I
Mhm.
think then Valeria might have something to say. Uh, Ancient histories, people of the world, and philosophy. We might stretch that conceivably to declaring something about this medallion.
What have we already established about the medallion again?
Pherdo?
That it was stolen from a tomb somewhere nearby.
And it has something to do with the disciples, right? The dark.
Correct.
Disciples of Darkness. Anyone interested in developing some story on that?
Hmm.
Okay, I'll let that one hanging. It is 5 past the hour. I'm going to suggest we take our second break now. Back in our seats at 10 past the hour.
Sure.
Okay. So we cut back to the crane where discussion of the disciples has clearly been overheard by some people. And so I'm going to roll 4 dice for the risk of the disciples making their presence felt. Oh, that is an instant. 4 dice become 0 dice. The disciples make their presence felt. Somebody is screaming in the market square. And when you put your head outside, people are rushing, locals are rushing towards the Temple of Kolita. Hanging from the roof by his feet is the body of Brother Odell. His throat is cut and blood is dripping down onto the steps, where only a matter of an hour or two ago, you saw Leif Gregson giving his speech. And there is chaos. Annika Giffard and her watchmen have come out and they're trying to establish some order. Desperate. I'll reset that clock to 4. What do you do? Let me ask Brother Odell Windemir, the priest, the honest broker in the mayoral elections, and generally speaking, all-round nice guy, priest of Kolita, the spirit of health and harvest, and he is hanging from his own spire by his feet, bleeding. What do you do, Sir Windemir?
We need to cut him down.
Run to the temple. Pherdo, what about you?
Windemir seems to have a good moral compass, so I think I'm following him.
Okay. Valeria?
I think Valeria, and what time of day is this? Is this like
middle of the day? I mean,
okay.
it's 2 or 3 hours since you were woken by Leif Gregson's rhetoric.
Yeah, I think Valeria is kind of similar to what she did with Ellis. She's going to start kind of looking around, the area. She realized, she often thinks, well, people who are going to do something like this, they have to be close by, right? I mean, they're probably not going to be up there, but they have to be close by, maybe even kind of trying to look at what's happening. So she's going to kind of look around at the kind of periphery, see if there's anybody running away or
let's have you roll plus
be kind of
wit.
looking from the shadows at what's going on. Okay.
Let's have you roll with wit.
Okay.
Can the bard assist with a melody?
Oh, go on. Tell me about a melody.
Well, it says you can also sing 3 melodies per session without a roll or composition. 2, clear a mark, assist without risk, calm or intensify a vex response, which I don't know what that is, but
yeah, it's an extreme response. We haven't had a vex response yet, but yeah, that does mean that you could, without a roll, simply untick one of your melodies, and that mark on Valeria's present. Oh no, hang on. Is it?
Yeah, it was on presence. Yeah.
It's on presence. There is no reason why Merle can't do that. So, and that would mean that next time you rolled with presence, you would roll 3 dice, but the mark means I put a thorn dice in.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm confused. Oh, okay. But this one is with wit, right?
With wit, yes.
So if I assist, it's just giving Valeria another
Yes.
D6. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Okay, so Valeria, you're rolling with 3 dice.
Okay.
Just singing some kind of melody that helps you focus.
Okay.
Well,
All
no, I
right.
mean, just both of you are looking round. You know, it's as simple as that. You don't need to use a melody for that.
All right.
Well,
Here
I
we go.
meant the specific move of having the melodies. That's
Yeah,
fine.
so is that, so I'm just to be clear, that is to remove the mark on Valeria's
Oh,
presence.
but there's 3 different options.
Okay.
Clear a mark,
Oh,
assist without
sorry,
risk.
assist without risk. So if this goes
Yeah.
pear-shaped, Valeria gets it, you don't. I beg your pardon. Fine. Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay.
Go for it.
So
3
am I
dice,
rolling
Valeria.
3 dice?
Yep.
All right.
A 6. For nothing, I will tell you, whoever did this can't be far away from that roof, because that body has, the scream was when that body was pushed off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for nothing. If you could get up a height, you might be able to spot them running away over the roofs or down an alleyway.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, and
Does
I
that
think what
seem like...
Valeria would, yeah, what Valeria would do is she wants to get up higher.
I tell
She'll
you what,
probably,
no, you rolled a 6. There they are, leaping from the temple roof to another roof and away.
Ooh.
Okay.
I can jump in here.
Well,
I can
you know.
spend a
Yes.
flow to pull off a potent feat of grace, like jumping to the rooftops and take after them.
So
Like,
I think Valeria
boing, boing, boing,
shouting,
boing.
there!
Yeah, without even hesitation, just like wall jump, wall jump, wall jump, and then
Exactly.
take after them.
Do you have to roll for that, or is it just
I just spend flow.
just spend flow, and you are on the rooftops? Yeah.
Yep.
So Windemir, you're there, you're supporting the body, while Annika and a couple of the watchmen, or maybe they're supporting the body and you cut the rope, whatever you want to do, and down flops the dead body of Brother Odell. What do you do?
I check the body just to see what happened to it.
His throat has been cut from ear to ear. A single sharp, and it looks like it was done on the roof and he was pushed over, because the blood is down the side of the building and on him.
Any signs of struggle? Are there footprints in the blood or anything?
Okay, let's have you roll with wit. 2 dice.
And I will use I'll use a spark.
So that's 3 dice. Do your thing.
Okay.
At 4.
Okay.
I think that there are the only footsteps in the blood are yours and the watchman's and Annika's, where it's pooling on the ground beneath him. You'll draw the same conclusions, I think, on the basis of that as Valeria, that the murderer was on the roof and must have found a way to get Brother Odell up there without a struggle.
What's on the roof? What's on the roof? Is there anything else here?
Well, you're on the ground and the roof is 2 stories up.
Okay.
Yeah?
Just jump up.
Okay.
It's easy.
Yes. So, Pherdo, we cut to you on the roof. Merle, you've seen Valeria point. There they go. And Pherdo leap up on a couple of stall roofs and leap to the roof. Pherdo, you're up there. What do you do once you're up there?
Chase.
Chase.
Go directly after whoever that was.
This sounds like agility. I think.
Yes.
So let's have you roll with agility. Unless you've got a move that does something different or better.
Yeah, I think I'm going to spend another flow to attempt a fluid maneuver. That lets me do something cool like reposition you, them, or both.
I think the fictional positioning for that means you need to be up close and personal with them.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sweet. Let's roll 3 agility.
I mean, I'm just wondering, is there pull off a potent feat of mystical grace?
Are there like I don't know, like clotheslines, or are there like things that you wouldn't normally be able to run across on a build?
Yeah, we've got to have some clotheslines with washing strung between here. And I see you kind of leaping from one to the other while they're running on the rooftops. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That seems like a potent feat of mystical grace. So you can spend a flow. Yeah, I think that's each of you can spend it too. Pull off a potent feat. Do it. Yeah,
Great.
You pull it off. You quickly come abreast of a figure dressed in black with a black mask on. Valeria and Merle. You see this happening. You see Windemir has got the body down. You've seen Pherdo pull off these remarkable feats. You see him taking off down this alleyway. What do you do, Merle?
I'm not one for the quick actions and stuff. So,
Well, then okay, then you think about it. I'll ask Valeria.
I think what Valeria is going to do is, as best she can, is gonna she's not gonna go do the jumping on rooftops, but she's gonna be down trying her best to follow, on the ground, uh, you know, following Pherdo and this mysterious masked figure from the ground.
So I think that's about, getting through the crowd because there's just chaos now, and you can, so you need to get down here. And I think we know that Gaelen is. I'm looking at the characteristics of Gaelen. Um, Potentially confusing narrow, winding streets and alleys centered on the marketplace. So I think there is a thorn at work here because I think it is complex to follow this on the ground. So agility with a thorn.
Okay.
Or you can just barge through and roll with brawn.
I'm better with brawn, so I think that's what
Just barging through, lower your shoulder and barge. Merle, do you
Can I
use
ask?
Valeria as a battering ram and follow them, or do you have something else in mind?
Can I ask how far away are they now in terms of the rooftops?
I think that Pherdo is about to disappear out of sight, but that doesn't mean geographically it's very far because the alleyways are very convoluted.
Yeah, no, I just mean the rooftops. If I were to get up high,
Oh, I
how
see.
far away would I be?
You're not close.
All right, great. Well, then I guess I'm following the battering ram, Valeria.
Okay, which would grant Valeria a bonus, I think, for your help in that, because you're shouting, "Get out of the way!"
Bard coming through.
Bard coming through. I like that.
That would give
You could mark off another melody and assist without risk.
Sure, why not?
So Valeria, you have 3 dice to go with, I think. Oh no, agility is 1, and you get. No, I've got that wrong.
I'm doing it with
Brawn.
brawn. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So 2 dice. You get another one from Merle, but I am putting a thorn in there because this is a very crowded and convoluted space.
All right, but I can also check off under brawn. I can check off that to give me another one.
You can put a mark underneath it and push yourself to get another dice.
Let me do that. So
okay,
that'll give me 4 plus the thorn.
The thorn, yeah.
So 4 of those and 1 of those.
That's a 6, and the thorn is not a 7 or 8, so it has no effect. That is great. You are making progress. You are behind the one you're chasing, but to be honest, you've got an eye on Pherdo. He's your kind of guide in this. Sir Windemir, you're with the body. You hear Bard coming through and see them going off down an alleyway off the market square. What do you want to do?
I want to say there's a horse here that I can jump on.
Oh, spend a story point.
Sure.
Okay. I will give you that because you are a paladin. Paladins ought to have a horse. So yeah, there is a horse. Give me something dramatic to hang this story point on.
Uh, I put a hand on Brother Adele's forehead. I say, "You will be avenged," and I will run, jump on
Jump
the
into a
horse.
saddle
Yeah,
of a convenient horse.
yeah.
And hi ho, Silver, away! And hair off down this alleyway. I think the fact that Valeria has made some space with Merle behind means that you can get into this space. But I do want to know whether you want to follow them or pass them.
I kind of want to flank, maybe. I don't know
Try
where
and
this
get round
person
them
might
because you
around them.
could
Yeah,
be traveling faster. Um,
yeah.
do you want to use the horse to push through the crowd to get past them, or do you want to use agility to gently step it past through the crowd and get past them?
Yeah, agility. I don't want to trample people
Okay, 2
necessarily.
dice. There is going to be a thorn in there because there's a chance you will trample
Oh
somebody.
man.
So
Right.
2 dice in that. You are going around them, so I don't think you get the benefit of their efforts because you want to get past them. You don't want
Right.
to follow them.
Yep.
So I think that's 2 dice with 1 thorn, unless you have anything else to help.
I'm gonna tick off. I'll tick off agility.
Oh, fine. Yeah. Stress agility, get another dice. 3 dice and a thorn.
All right.
It's remarkable that this happened to be a white horse with a high canted saddle. Oh, look at that 6, and it's not reduced by the thorn. So
Cool.
yeah, you step round this. People say, "Oh, it's the paladin," and they scatter. There are people carrying large wicker baskets who are, throwing baskets to one side or the other. Um, as you are now in front, Valeria and Merle are following you. Pherdo, you have got level with the person you assume is the assailant. What do you
Mhm.
do?
I will make a grab for them while yelling that they need to stop.
So is this about using your flow to well, hang on. Once per session, you can interrupt with a philosophical point, quick reaction, or stunning strike.
Ooh, let's interrupt with a stunning strike.
Okay, so describe how this stunning strike happens. You're kind of leaping from you know,
Mhm.
line to line to line down this alleyway while they're running along the rooftops.
Yeah.
Interrupt them. How?
I imagine because I can go across places they can't, I wind up in front of them.
Okay.
Um, and since my style is redirecting grabs, close punches, swift parries, and occasionally use iron knuckles, I think that's what that stunning strike is.
Okay.
I get in front of them. They don't want to stop. They Are they still holding a knife, or are they holding a knife?
No, they're running.
Okay. I think they make a lunge for me, and I did not have them before, but in my tatters, I do have a basically brass knuckles, and I just step to the side, grab their arm, and give them a bunk to the noggin there,
Okay.
stunning them.
So that just happens as far as I can see. You can interrupt with, oh no, you interrupt with a stunning strike. The effectiveness of the stunning strike, I think we need to determine. So
Yeah,
this sounds like agility to me.
yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. So 3 dice. Your intention here is to knock this person out.
Yeah.
I will tell you that they are a 4 dice threat. Yeah.
All right.
So let's see how your attack goes.
I will throw my spark in there as
Agility is 3 unless there is something else you can throw at it.
I'm going to throw a spark in there.
Okay. 4
And
dice.
I
And I'm
can
going to give you 1 for the stunning strike.
Fantastic. So that's 5.
5 dice.
Can I take a physical mark?
You can. You could
Great.
mark agility to really put everything into this.
Great, I'll do
6
that.
dice.
And since I have mind over matter, when I take a physical mark, I can take a mental mark instead.
Oh,
So I'm going to put that in
wonderful.
presence. And that's 6.
6 dice.
Fantastic.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. Nothing could go wrong. All 6s. 1 6.
So that's a 6, yeah. So you do it. There's no comeback on you. They are a 4 dice threat. You now roll 4d6 with the intention of reducing that to 0. So you're looking for 1s, 2s, and 3s.
All right. There's 3 of them.
3 dice goes to. If you push your agility, when they're left with 1 dice, you can always push yourself to remove the last one.
I will push myself.
So you can also push agility.
I could use a gift.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because I rolled a 5 and a 2 for my gift. I could gift the 2 and change the.
Okay.
Ooh.
Change the one. What it was a 4.
A 4 to a 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Well, right.
What does that look like?
Further, yeah, exactly. What does that look like?
Well, because it's a gift from my patron.
It is.
And my patron is, one of their desires is justice. And
judgment.
A judgment, yes. Judgment,
yeah.
Yes.
Not necessarily a just judgment, but a clear one.
Yes. Yeah, but I think the patron would be in on a kind of judgment here, right? That this is a nefarious deed that has been committed, and I think what it looks like is when you hit the masked figure with that brass knuckle. There is a kind of, in addition to the sound of the crunch, there's a kind of kaleidoscopic flash.
Nice.
That happens. You're not quite sure if you.
That doesn't usually happen.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's some kind of stunning strike.
Sees, oh yeah, there's like this kind of kaleidoscopic pop that's happening.
And he is sent to the Dreamlands. Bang! Like a sack of potatoes.
Take that mask right off.
Where do you take him? Because I'd like to put 4 of you and Annika Giffard in the watch house with an unconscious assailant dressed in black, unless you have anything else.
I'm definitely taking his mask or their mask off to see what they look like.
I will ask Sir Windemir whether there's anything, because you made a lot of effort to get to the head of the crowd, and I think that probably you reached the point parallel with Pherdo at the point that you see them up on the rooftop and Shazam. Is there anything you want to do, or can I cut back to the watch house with the assailant?
Okay. Can I jump down? I'll use the rest of my flow to just jump down and land on the horse with him.
I think I'm already on there. I guess it's a large horse.
So much space.
Sure.
Okay, because given that where we are on the clock, I'm gonna cut back to the watch house.
Fantastic.
Yeah, cut back to the watch
house.
Is
this your horse?
Where a cell has got our assailant in, and Pherdo kind of throws the body down onto the bunk and whips away the mask, and it's a woman.
Mm.
Yeah. What happens next?
Merle turns to Valeria and goes, "Is that the woman from your dream?"
Oh, that's an interesting question. Do we want to roll with wit, or does somebody want to spend some story?
I'll spend a story.
There is something about that unconscious assailant that mirrors what you saw in that vision. the vision clarifies with this example. So Pherdo spent some story. This is the woman from the merchant camp. What do you want to do with this, Valeria, if anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, Valeria would, when the unmasking happens and it clicks with her, I mean, she will be, and I'll turn to Merle and to the others and say that that's that's her. That's the the woman I saw giving the lamb. Um,
Merle?
Well, we definitely have to question her.
Yeah.
But she's still knocked out, right?
Oh yeah, she's deeply dreaming.
She'll wake
Sure.
up soon.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that is the point at which she wakes. And clearly is slightly groggy from the kaleidoscopic dreamland escapade that was added to the fist. Um, and kind of backs off into the corner when she sees the four of you and Annika Giffard around her. Merle, you said you want to question her. What have you got in mind?
Well, I wonder, so you said she's just in this black clothing, like, your typical assassin of
Of course.
sorts, right? So it's not as if I can gain much about her status or anything like that from just looking at her.
I don't think
Okay.
so. Um, is there anyone with a background that would offer some fictional positioning to making any judgment about her just by looking at her? I'm
Well, I
wondering.
mean, I'm a charlatan and I'm good at spotting marks, etc. I feel like I'll probably be, but I mean, it depends, right? If she's just in her, I don't know, work gear,
Yeah,
who
I
knows?
don't think that there's anything in that social graces spotting mark timely misdirects. I don't think that's going to give you information on
Right.
looking. I think you need to question.
Okay.
I have chance meetings if I may have run into them before.
Oh, wow. Wow. Um, do you want to spend story to say you've run into them?
Yeah, I'll spend my last story for that.
Okay. She is Arne Juxon's daughter, Liddy. Dun
Ooh.
dun dun!
Liddy
Perceptive, no nonsense young woman and assassin
and a cook
and a good cook.
or a
Poisoner?
bad cook.
Wow. Now that's a story point worth having.
Indeed.
So, with that in mind, Sir Windemir, what about you at this point? Are you as shocked as everyone else? Because I think now is the point where the mask comes off. So we all go, ah, but that's Liddy.
Uh, uh, Liddy, you have no choice here. You have to come clean if you have any hope of saving yourself from execution.
I am going to spend one of my remaining two suspense to have her say, my life is worth nothing if Voletha is to rise. If I die and she rises, then I have died in a good cause. I do not fear death, you pawn of the light. Valeria.
now she mentioned the name Aletha.
Voletha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, is that a name that I would in
It's
terms
the
of my
disciples of the dark.
Ancient
Sorry.
prophecies, ley lines, and symbology.
yeah.
Voletha was one of the leaders of the disciples of darkness when the darkness rose. It was believed that she was, well, you can have that for nothing. Now you can roll with wit.
Okay. And my wit is 2.
2 dice, I think.
Yeah.
A 5. Voletha, yes. The final battle between the light and the dark occurred not very far from here. And Voletha was driven back, so the stories go. And I think, yeah, your superstitions will come in here to combine with ancient prophecies. And she was killed and interred. And all that the legends say of this, the superstition says that she was interred in the Crimson Highlands, which of course we can see over your shoulder through the open door of the watch house up there beyond the Vale. Does that seem like a decent answer to your question? But of course, I will take as a mixed success there a point of suspense, because that means that were she to rise, she would rise there. Any question? So Valeria's drawn a conclusion. Pherdo, you spent this to have it be Liddy. Merle, do you have anything you want to do at this point?
I think Merle is a little bit perplexed as to how, her actions are related to trying to get the Voletha to rise.
Maybe it's blood
And
sacrifice.
I think, yeah, but what about this whole poisoning thing? That, I don't know, is that all blood sacrifice? I don't know. Um, I want to try, I think Mel wants to try and get her to tell them more about their plan and how these things are all interlinked. And given how incredibly well, she seems very fervent in her beliefs and whatever. I'm sure she's not going to do that for nothing. So I'm wondering if a bard song could help pull off a potent feat of emotional influence.
Right. We'll leave that as our climactic bit. Let me ask Sir Windemir, is there anything you want to do before we unleash the bard?
I'd like to assist the bard as well.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So let's look at your bard song. Style, tune, and impact.
hmm I think it will be a fiery anthem of awe that will hopefully inspire her to be truthful, because we have somehow struck some kind of awe in her.
So is this some anthem of the dates from the time when the light defeated the dark? Is that
Mm,
where
yeah,
this
probably,
fits? Yeah.
the sort of the sacrifice and the sacrifice that people made to defeat the dark, and maybe something that is related to specifically this, her home. And yeah.
Okay. Let's have you roll with presence plus the
hmm
help of Sir Windemir. 4 dice. It could be 5 if you spent spark, unless you want to keep that for next time.
How does it reset again?
It doesn't. It rolls over.
All right. So you,
As long as you come up with something that you remember from today next time, you will get one spark at the start.
all right. Okay. Um, wait, four. Yeah, let's spend it.
Yeah, go for it.
I really hope that this is actually something interesting. Um,
Uh,
ooh, it's a six.
a six. There is no downside to this. Um, you wanted to know about how Valetha would rise.
Yeah, how their plans are,
Yes. Um,
and
Valetha
then.
drinks souls,
Mm.
and the more souls that we offer to Valetha, the closer she comes to rising.
So have they poisoned all of the meat or the lambs or the sheep themselves or
The
whatever?
merchant was the first. The heretic Odell was the second. Others will follow. At which
Right.
point she bites down hard.
Mhm.
I spend a suspense, and she dies using the same poison that she had stored in her cheek as killed Ellis the merchant. And that is, I think, where today's episode ends. Quick stars and wishes. I just want to check off. Last time we had some stars and some wishes around wanting to see some factions at work, the disciples connection, get to know one another, and have a gig. So I think we've done all right in terms of last time in terms of wishes. So let's go to today. Um, any stars, any wishes? Let me start with Robbie.
I had a grand time this session. There was so much going on and lots of great scenes, both of action as well as of just kind of character interaction. Mark, I loved the chase on the rooftop with also then with the three of us down on the ground level. Cinematically that was beautiful and I like the way that all that kind of coalesced. Yeah, and I'm really liking the mechanics of the game. I mean, I think that we're all kind of getting into it, and it was nice to see everybody kind of going into their specific talents and kind of using those. Merle with the songs, right? And I love Sir Windemir, who's you know always trying to be the voice of moderation, right? And that's kind of beautifully being carried out. And yeah, and a lot of these mechanics I think are really for me starting to sing. And it is, with the D6. I mean, even when you're rolling a number of D6, I think we rolled particularly well today. But I know that right, when you're aiming just to roll a six, that mechanic. I mean, it's never a kind of
A done deal. No.
deal, right? And it's actually sometimes frustratingly difficult to kind of get those sixes. And it's also easy to just roll a bunch of ones, twos, and threes. So you're always like on that edge, even with a number of dice in play. You're always very possible that you may end up with a really bad roll. So I really like.
I'll come back to you in a moment for any wishes. Mark, any stars?
Yeah, I had a good time. The yeah, chase across the rooftops with folks running downstairs was really fun. Getting to see a little bit more of the world, the bandit camp or the merchant camp and all that. Kind of not resolving the medallion thing, but like using it to jump off to whatever the next thing is. Was great. And the gig, super fun time getting all that and seeing the grandstanding of the candidates and whatnot. Good time.
Good, good. Rod, any stars?
Yeah. I again, rooftop chase. Ditto. I enjoyed uh, the paladin's conversation with Pherdo, trying to convince them to help people. I thought that was a lot of fun. Uh, Robbie, the kaleidoscopic blur description was cool with your patron. Uh, and keeping the poison piece of lamb with you was hilarious. Uh, Sheena the poking fun at Sir Graxon at the gig, and then running up to the stand on the temple steps was a great moment for the board, I thought, as well. Then Alun, the how you describe the rolling the mixed success of Merle's at the temple steps and the crowd becoming factional. I thought it was a cool thing. Um, and then having the merchant waiting at the watch house when Ferdo's there, I thought was a fun choice as well. So, thank you.
Zena, any stars? And I'll come back round to Robbie for any
Um,
wishes.
yeah, I mean, same. Obviously, the rooftop chase was fantastic, and yeah, but I also particularly enjoyed Pherdo being so like, but why should we help them? We can't be everywhere.
Yeah, we're not the
All
world's
of that, like,
policeman.
just I don't know, it was just very funny and also almost like perplexing. So Windermere is just like, but of course we need to help people. Anyway, it was a great exchange. And yeah, also really enjoyed this very odd exchange between Valeria and Merle about the piece of about this whole like, yeah, things that are meant for you and da da da, and the bard just being like, what?
Yeah,
Like
no,
creative license is one thing, but this sounds, yeah. Anyway, just great. And I think my character was annoyed, but I really liked that Sir Windemir like went and, instead of, well, trying to protect the bard, but also being like, well, we should listen to both sides.
yes,
And just, yeah,
yeah,
I just thought, yeah, it's perfect for the character. Very annoying for my character. But
yeah,
yeah, there you go.
that would be my star. That what we'd seen in their earlier interaction, this happenstance of having set out the same set of desires, but via very different routes, and then we see that almost, we're here for the same thing, but we got different ways of coming at this.
Yeah.
I thought it was lovely. I did like Valeria. We're beginning to flesh out that patron. Um, and Furdo, yeah, I'm just here to enjoy life. It's warm, you know. What's this crime fighting thing you're trying to get me to do? I just don't get it. Um, unless a priest has had his throat cut, and then I'm all in.
Thrills.
Right, let's go back round for wishes. Robbie, any wishes for next time? Oh,
Um,
now, yeah, let me make sure I know this. Next time is not next time because I have a previous face-to-face convention commitment next weekend. We will be back in a fortnight's time, and then we've got one more after that. So we've got two more sessions. So, but when we are next together, on the, I'll make sure this is in our chat as well. But we will be next be back together on the 22nd. Okay, so, but with that in mind, next time we're back together, Robbie, any wishes?
um, well, I mean, I think the obvious one is kind of, I think finding out like what's going on with this you know, Valetha,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, heading out to kind of follow up the kind of interesting thread that has been started.
Yeah. Mark, any wishes?
Yeah, follow up on all that stuff. I would also like to see if I can track down this Maglos Kilgore guy
Mm-hmm.
at some point, and I kind of want to have some more character interaction stuff like that. Maybe give Sir Windemir a little bit of guff for stealing a horse.
Rod.
And I'm
Oh,
likely out next
Borrowing.
week because I also have a convention that I'm going to be at. So I'll be out back in 3 weeks.
okay. Rod, any wishes?
Well, the horse is alone. I'm returning that. So, so there. Um, wishes, I think. Yeah, I'd love to see our group in a fight. Not with each other, but with an enemy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that has to happen, doesn't it? Zena, any wishes?
Yeah, I think I would like to have an interaction with Pherdo because we didn't really have that again. And the other thing, weirdly, well, because now everything has been linked to the Disciples of the Dark, I'm slightly disappointed that it wasn't some dark machinations by Leif Graxon because I want to see him, lose face and hopefully also lose the election. So I think that's you've just portrayed him so, hateable. So yeah.
Good enough. Good enough. Okay. My wishes. I just want to see this go. Roll on. And it was just lovely to have the four dice clock on the Total Darkness just go from 4 to 0 in one. That was just spot on. I loved that.
Oh,
It just injected a bit of into events, which is what we needed at that point. So yeah, I'm enjoying the mechanics. I think that they're nicely narrative, and there's plenty of control on all parts. Some of it's random control, some of it's control, but it's all going well. So,
could I ask you one more question
of
before we
course,
stop? Because one thing that is making it hard to choose that second talent or whatever, it's like I don't actually know what a defense role is and how
yeah.
that comes into play.
Well, so far you've been pretty lucky because a defense roll would be where I simply initiate an attack. So, you can if you got a mixed success in a fight, I will hurt you.
Mm,
Full stop. But were you surprised, or were someone to just come up to you and be rude to you, or whatever it would be, then you'd have a defense against that.
right.
Yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Let me.
will decide by next time, I guess,
Okay.
what my second. Yeah.
I will stop the recording there.